Hi, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in to KayKaySlays. This is the second episode of Sip and Gyaff, and we have Dwayne Fyah in the building. He is here and he is ready to chat with us. So, of course, if you have your questions, leave them in the comment section and he will answer them today. Before we begin this interview, Sip and Gyaff will start in 30 seconds. All right, guys, welcome back. So before I bring Dwayne onto the screen, I'm going to read his bio for you guys. So born and raised on the countryside of Guyana in a single-parent relationship family, Dwayne is a sibling of 5. He began playing the drums at the age of 10 and later singing and songwriting. Fyah is now the youth pastor at HopeNYC Church, Queens, New York. He loves playing football, what you Americans would call soccer, volleyball, cricket, and dominoes. Music has always been a part of Dwayne's life, and promulgating the good news has always been a dream of his. After migrating to the United States in 2010, Fyah found his groove in the gospel reggae music realm, and a decade later, his foot is still on the gas. Delivering singles like Bigger Than That, produced by Paradigm Audio Lab Guyana, Dance for You, produced by Joel Browne, aka Joey Too Cool, also from Guyana, and Soldier, produced by Jahlight Records out of Trinidad, and many, many more requested radio plays. It was time for Fyah to fulfill his promise and complete an album. The husband and gifted believer has just released his debut album, In or Out, which climbed the iTunes reggae charts and created a buzz. Dwayne is a technical lad with a degree in electrical and electronic technology. He currently holds a position as an airways and transportation specialist at the at the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, and is determined to excel in all of his endeavors. In or Out is now available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Tidal, and all major downloading platforms. I believe that every man, woman, boy, and girl has a purpose in life. However, it is only until you give your life to Jesus Christ and fully surrender unto Him that you will begin to walk in your true destiny. And that was a quote from Dwayne Fyah. So without further ado, please put your hands together and welcome Dwayne Fyah to the KayKaySlays platform. Hey, welcome, welcome. I see you already have some love coming in. People are shouting you out, saying Dwayne Fyah in the comments. Yes, he is here. And we have a very exciting conversation with him today. First of all, I did not know that you were so busy and did all these things outside the music. But I'm proud. I salute you, Guyanese doing big things. I'm always here for that. So super proud.
Amen.
So tell us, who is Dwayne Fyah? How did you get the name Dwayne Fyah?
Okay, first off, let me just say good afternoon, everyone listening. Good morning, good night, wherever you are. Mother, teach me some manners. Say good afternoon to the people first. Have some sort of, and
definitely.
Before I say any other thing else, I'm gonna take a sip because this is Sip and Gyaff. Okay.
Yes, take a sip. So I'm on a fast, so I'm drinking water. But
okay,
yeah, take a sip.
I'll sip
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm sipping some sorrel, Guyanese made. Okay.
Ooh, very, very nice. Very nice.
So Dwayne Fyah, I'm a country boy. Born and raised, bred Guyanese. I grew up on the west side of Demerara. For those of you who don't know where that is, that's Region 3. Poor drawing. Yeah. I'm a easygoing fella. Like you read earlier, I love sports. Dominoes is one of my favorite things. I could sit and play dominoes all day, all night. I grew up in a countryside where neighborhood and community and love and just being authentic as you can be was a part of our core values. As you
Mm-hmm.
would know, any Guyanese, I mean, we keep it 100 wherever we are,
Yep.
wherever we go.
Where we
So
are. Yes.
I mean, that's me in a nutshell. I tell like, and I'm a son. I always make mention. I'm a son of the Most High God, Jesus Christ. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm honored to be a son. I'm honored to be a part of His kingdom and what He's doing in this time on this earth. And yeah, man, I'm just here. Any other question you want to know about Dwayne? You ask. Like I tell anybody, you ask Dwayne, he's gonna tell you. And I mean, that's me, just down to earth country boy with a dream, with a passion to just spread the gospel at all means, any means necessary, all costs. Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. So in your bio, I read that you started playing drums at the age of 10.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when did you realize that you had this ability to sing and
Well,
to write songs?
well, actually, I used to sing a lot because, well, back in the
Um,
day, my moms and auntie and all them, they're always telling me about stories. And when I used to cry and cry, baby, used to holler
uh,
and scream and bow along the place and all that stuff. So I
mhm.
think my lungs were stretched from that point.
From that point.
But
Mhm.
excuse me.
No problem.
I think, well, I have always been that person to sing at home. You know what I mean? Grew up
Hmm.
singing and hearing all the songs, and always
Yeah.
had the tune, always had a good ear sound. But I also had a passion for like just playing the drums. I was always
Mhm.
fascinated. I was that kid in church that would sit in the front seat, and my focus was on the drum set, like on the drummer, whatever he's doing with his hands, feet, all
Yeah.
sort of motion. If he got to wipe his whatever, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I could care less about anything else was going on.
Mhm.
And I inculcated a habit of just practicing and going home, and I used to
Mhm.
practice on as we used to say back in Guyana, saucepan and tin and
Oh,
cup, and yeah,
yeah.
I was that kid.
Mhm.
I used
Mhm.
to go to the back, pick the black stage, cut it to the size of the drumsticks,
Oh,
make my
wow. Yeah,
own
your own
drumsticks.
sticks.
And
Yeah.
I used to be going in, and we used to keep, after service in the day, we used to go home and keep our own service at night. Dwayne would play drum, my other cousin would
Mhm.
preach, somebody gonna lead worship. You know how it is.
Yeah.
We used to play with your own church. So,
Yeah, I know about
right.
that.
So from there, I think my love for music just started
Mm,
developing, and my singing was already, God had already blessed me with that gift to sing, but I just had to tap into that place where I knew for a fact that I was called to sing. So one day I was playing drums and playing and singing, and I growing up in Sunday school and youth ministry and all that stuff. One of my choir directors realized, he's like, yo, you have a voice, why are you playing drums all the way to the back? You know what I mean? You need to come in front and sing. And then
mm,
they put me one time to lead the Sunday school choir and stuff like that, and sing a song,
mhm,
and then after that it was history. I just started. I left from the back and came to the front. I started singing, but I used to play every now and then and stuff. I was a drummer at one point,
mhm,
but singing, it was just like a part of me, man. It was just like I think it was like,
mhm.
yeah, just that's time for me to sing and just
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
definitely. We have a question from one of the persons watching, Sarah Hart. She's asking if you still play the drums.
Oh yeah, of course. That rhythm is always that's always gonna be a part of me. I was playing drums like
Mm.
3 weeks ago at my church youth group. So yeah,
Ah,
I still play.
okay.
That's something that's never gonna leave me.
That's nice. We have another question from Sandra Hart, who says, "Why the name Fire and not Dwayne Boss or Dwayne B or anything like that?"
Well, Fire, actually, the name Fire came from my brother Carlisle. Y'all know Carlisle.
We know
Shout out
Carla.
to
Yes,
Carlisle.
shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
Carla.
Crossbar Movement. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to
Um.
Prosper.
So Carlisle saw me one time singing. Well, first, before I even get to doing Fire, I used to go by the name Dwayne CV. Actually,
Oh,
because my middle name is Compton and my last name is Baggett. So I used to go Dwayne
mhm,
CV. But I did one. There was one concert I did at a church called Spirit and Truth. I can't remember. It's like back in 2012 or 2011, one of the two. And Carlisle was there,
mhm,
and I did my thing, and everybody was cheering and going, going
mhm.
crazy. And after he left, while I was up there, he's like, nah, this man can't name CB. He's too fire. He is too fire. You gotta change that name,
Ah,
brother. Dwayne Fireboy, because I see, be too calm for you. You got to get a hot like you know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
where, and after that, everybody started calling me Fire, yo, Fire, Fire. So it just stuck. It came organically. It just stuck like Dwayne Fyah, yo, Fire. So I just went with it. I just ran with it. I just ran with it, and
That is so nice. When you start making the Jay-Z money, I will tell Kyle that you have to run him his check for for the naming rights. Okay.
it was ordained because back in Ghana, a lot of people say like, "Yo, if I am on," like stuff like
So
that.
it was
Yo,
meant to be.
yeah. So it was good. Yeah.
It was meant to be. We have another question coming in, this time from Miss Kisa Hart, who says, because COVID is a thing, are you going to do a virtual album release?
Actually, between the virtual album release and between the 50% capacity church release for whatever building. So I'm still here to choose, but I really like the interaction. I mean, virtual is good, but there's a whole difference when there's people. You're actually in the presence, and it's a whole other ball game. I mean, so if I do go with the half with the 50% capacity, I'm gonna also just air it on Facebook or YouTube. So it would be, you'll be getting both. Yeah.
Great, that's amazing. We have a question from Leandre Dyer. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Who says, "Who was your biggest influence in reggae?"
Oh, Barry Simon, easy. I love that dude. I love his.
I have Big Bears fan in my household as well. So
I mean, he's like here, but there's so many others. But he's like right there. So yeah, he's right
definitely there. That he is great. We have a comment saying we want to come, so some of the church people gonna have to take left. I mean, oh my God!
It would be Delft where you would have to like be on it. Like if I put it out there and say, "Oh, so it's here, the ticket is here. You have to buy now before it's sold out." So if you really want to be on it, you're gonna have to just pay attention to Dwayne Fyah and my posts and stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna let people know.
Yes. So you earlier you mentioned, Carl I, and you and Carl I do sing together in Crossbar Movement. But besides him, and their music is really good, so you guys need to go check it out as well. Yes. Who are some other artists that you would have collaborated with since being in the music industry?
Yeah. Well, Carl. I did a song with The Anointed Veil. Shout out to him. He dropped an album, I think a year or two ago. I did a song with him. I collab with I did a song with Samuel Medas on his album called Harder Than Before. Shout out to him too. Yes, that was good. I like that. Who else? Because I haven't worked with a lot of people just as yet, but it's so funny. I did a collab. I did some collabs with some artists. I'm not gonna call their names yet because the songs are not out. But
we got some songs in the pipeline. Love to see it.
There's songs in the pipeline. Plus, there are songs that I collab with artists and that's been there for like a year or two. But it's just stuff not. It just has to be completed and all that. All the musicality and all this stuff. But yeah, I have some more collabs coming. But the Anointed Veil, Sammy, Carly, who else? Eddie Neblet. Yeah, shout out to him, my bro from Guyana. Also, other than that, yeah, that's about it.
That is great. Yeah, that is so amazing. So let's talk specifically In or Out now. I had a chance to listen to In or Out, and it is from the first song. I was like, we were in the car, and I had my headphones in, and I heard the first song, I Will Never, and I'm like, Daddy, I'm about to put this album on because like I can't be the only person experiencing this. Like everyone in the car needs to hear this album.
Yeah.
So I played it. We all loved it, and of course, right away I'm like, follow. So I'm now following you on Spotify. I have the songs on repeat. No problem. So what was the inspiration and the motivation behind this In or Out album?
Yeah, so the song really came about because I had like I was telling somebody was telling, I think it was to me. I had like man, this album in my head, this album was supposed to be finished like at least like 3-5 years ago, but God has his own. He has his own way in doing
Exactly. His timing.
exactly. It's always best. It's always good. And I had so many songs, man. So many ideas. First, I wanted to name the album "A Good God," which is one of the singles on the album. I wanted to name the album "Homecoming," which is a single on the album.
Yeah.
Let's Talk Jesus. There were so many names I could have given. I wanted to name it just Dwayne Fyah or whatever. I don't know. There's so, but I came from a place where I came to a realization where we as Christians and we as believers, especially young Christians, we really have to in this time we really have to make a stand. We really have to stand up and do as the Bible said, choose this day whom you will serve. Like in Joshua, it speaks about that. He said, and for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So I was reading, I was going in, and I was in Revelation 3, where it speaks about the dead church, the faithful church, and the lukewarm church. And down in verse 16, it says, so now that you're lukewarm, neither hot or cold, I will spit you out, I will vomit you out of my mouth. And those were Jesus' words. And that hit home to me like it was so clear. I mean, there's nothing. It's either you hot, you cold, you in, you out,
there's no in between.
or against.
Not lukewarm.
Right, there was nothing. So that question. So when I got that concept, and I was like, yo, this is really a big message. Like this is a message that needs to hit the airways, and people need to hear, and people need to really ask themselves a question: am I in, or am I really in? Am I out? Like, where do I really stand with God? And from that whole word just ministered to me first. I was like, okay, so this has to be the album. Yes. It has to be the name of the album because it asks a question directly. There's no going around it.
Yeah.
You yes or no. You know what I mean? So that the whole inspiration came from Revelation 3:16. Yep.
I think that's so amazing that you said that, it ministered to you first. And I think that's so important when you're going to release anything, that it should minister to you first. You should feel it first and not just put something out there because, the people are expecting me to put something out there.
Right.
That will actually draw people in. They will want to know about this great God that you're singing about. So I think that's absolutely amazing, know, that it ministered to you first. We have a question here from Ralph Hart, who says, of all the popular Caribbean gospel artists, who are you looking forward to working with next?
First, shout out to my Uncle Ralph for being on. Man, that's a tough one, man. You put me on the spot. Because I really like for me, I really don't sit and think about who I'm working with next. I really don't sit and think about like who I'm really looking forward to work, like, because that sets me up for disappointments, and it sets me up for things not going my way and me being aggy about it. So I just allow God to, if it's meant to be, it's gonna be. If it, you know what I mean, if it will happen, if it should happen and it needs to happen, it will happen. So really, man, like whoever comes along, however we connect, however we make it happen. Because I know I've already had, because after this album I've already gotten calls to collab and make music, but it has to be appointed. It has to be destined. It has to be, something that is gonna really minister to the people and the ears of the listeners. Yeah.
Definitely. We have a comment here from Sandra Hart, who says the song dedicated to dads is Fire.
Oh my God, that is my song.
So she loves that song. We have a question here, but she says, and Sarah Hart, who says, any spoilers and who you're going to collab with? She really wants the tea.
I realize. I see that.
You got to follow him on Instagram so that, when he drops it, you can, scramble it up right away and listen to it.
Exactly.
We have another question here from Ralph Hart, who says, which song on In or Out will you release as your first music video?
Thank you for asking that question, sir. So the first video is going to be Answer the Question. Track number 2. The title track, Are You In or You Out? And guess what?
What?
We're supposed to be shooting that video tomorrow.
Oh, really? That's very, very nice. So we have a video on the way. So that's so dope. Please go make sure you subscribe. to
Yes,
his YouTube channel.
and I really wished we were in a state where everyone could have been there. You know what I mean? But due to the whole pandemic and stuff, we have to limit ourselves and spaces and all sorts of stuff. But yes, tomorrow we're gonna be
Yes.
searching for
Looking
the
forward.
question. So thank you for that question. Yes.
We have another comment here from Leandra Dyer who says a Dwayne Fyah and Monty G collab would be great.
Oh yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear that
So,
already too. I can hear that already too. Yeah. That's
oh,
good.
nice.
That's good.
So, who would you shout out for working with you to make this In or Out project the greatness that it is?
First off, I would shout out. I'll say shout out to my wife because
Shout out to the wifey.
because she had to put up with me in the late nights and writing and trying not to disturb me when I'm locked in, and because she might want to do something, but I'm like, okay, just give me
I know
minutes.
that way.
Exactly. So shout out to my wife. Secondly, I would say shout out to Carly, because he whenever I'm finished with a song or whatever, I always send it to him like, yo, give me an ear. And he has a good ear for musicality, for melodies and lyrics and all that stuff. So I always work like, yo, just give me a feedback, how this sound, blah blah blah. And shout out to all the producers that I work with, man. From Vijay in Guyana, Paradigm Audio Lab. Shout out to Joel Browne, as I mentioned. Also Guyanese. Shout out to Jahlight Records in Trinidad. Shout out to my Jamaican CP1. Shout out to there's a whole throughout the whole Caribbean. Shout out to my man Kendall for producing and yeah. So those are mainly all the shout out to HopeNYC Pastor Cheryl, because she's on the track too. She's on the album.
Yes.
HIM, which is stands for Hope in Manhattan. A lot of people don't know, but they ask me. So that HIM stands for Hope in Manhattan. And that was a live recording while we were there last year in the middle of Times Square. So yeah, shout out to her and HopeNYC. Shout out to my brother DJ Glenn for always pushing the music, like Mark Exclusive, all my DJs. Yeah, they're man, the list goes on and on and on for shout outs. So yeah, definitely.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. I'm happy that you're not, an island, as people would say, but that you have such an amazing team behind you. And so we can see why the music is so great, because you have people from, doing different things to make sure that the music and that the artist Dwayne Fyah, the product is always something of substance. That's absolutely amazing. So we heard everybody that you shout out, your wife, Caroline, all these people. But who would you say the album is dedicated to?
I would say, I don't want to make it just sound general, but really, really and truly, I want to dedicate it to I wanted to say the world, but I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. I want to dedicate it to that person who is battling with doubt, who's in that place of uncertainty, who's in that place of really asking God and really checking themselves and really doing self-examination. Am I really in? Am I out? And I want to dedicate it to them and let them know that make a choice today that you're in. I want to call those. I want to dedicate it to those who are outside and help them make a choice that it's time to give up the world, because there's nothing in this world that can satisfy. The Bible also says you gain the world and you lose your soul. I mean, there's nothing there for you. So this album is dedicated to that person, the doubt in, the one who's out, the one who's not sure, the one who's struggling, the backslider, the one who needs to come home, that lost son, that lost daughter who was squandered the inheritance, who was out there playing, doing all that stuff. That's what this album is dedicated to. Yep.
That is so nice. So what is the main message? If when we finish listening to this album from I Will Never, so I think the last song is Let's Talk Jesus. What's the message that you would want people to get or to receive once they would have finished listening to all 12 songs on the album?
The message I would want them to get is the endless, never-ending love of God, the his compassion, his heart when you cry desperation, like he's always there for you. He's a good God. Like And that's why I started the album saying I will never, because I would not sell him out for these stuff. And then I went to how good he is. Like even in the pandemic, he's good. And I went to saying that let's talk Jesus, let's hold a conversation, and let's. The Bible declares that we should study to show that self approved unto God. The workman need not be ashamed of anybody or in the truth. And then it goes down in the next verse, 15, I think, no, 16. It says, but shun profane and vain babbling, for they increase the more ungodliness. And that's what I want them to get really to. Even though we're faced with all of this adversity, and even though we're in a place where a lot of people tend to be like gravitating more to negative stuff and shunning the positive, is like you take a stand. Like you take a stand. You be that one who will stand up for righteousness. You be that one who will stand up and say, no matter what, this is my belief. I will stand on the word of God, and He is faithful to me, and you be faithful to him. Like, so I want them to get like, no matter what happened in this life, do not let go of Jesus Christ, because He is so good, and He is always a rewarder of those that diligently seek Him. So that's what I would want them to get. That never, 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 never lose your faith. Never give up this gospel for nothing. Yes.
That is absolutely so amazing. We have a comment from Keisha Hart who says, drop some lyrics. She's putting you on the spot.
She is on fire. She said drop some lyrics. I should ask her to drop some lyrics.
Ooh, that would be fun. You know, we could do you could have like an in or out. You know, a lot of people are doing challenges these days.
Right,
you can have an in or out challenge where we come and we, sing some songs from the album. That'd be so much fun to do.
We might we might do a challenge.
That'd be fun. So you guys need to follow Dwayne on Instagram and also like his Facebook page so that when he drops anything, you never miss it. We have a question from Sarah Hart. She asked, do you have a scripture verse that you live by?
Oh yes, I do. That's actually the same one that I was just reading. 2 Timothy 2:16. 2:15, 2:16, where it says, study to show that self approved unto God, and workman need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, but shun profane and vain babbling, for they increase the more ungodliness. So that's my scripture. Like that's my
That is great. So I have a two-parter question for you. So I know I mentioned it earlier, but if you can just tell the people again how they can access the album, and then when you're done with that, you can tell the people how they can access you so that they can book you, whether either virtually or not, to perform at their concerts and shows.
So yes, my album, like all my songs, singles, whatever I'm doing, it's on Apple Music. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on Google Play, it's on Amazon Music, it's on Tidal, and the list goes on and on. Xbox Music, it's on TikTok, it's
all
on
major streaming platforms.
everywhere, every single downloading platform is there. It's there. Just type in Dwayne Fyah, DWAYNE FYAH. I have to tell a lot of people too, because a lot of people go looking for me and they type in FIRE. So
it's fire.
Get the fire right. It's FYAH. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, man. And I mean, you want to book me? You could always like DM me. You could DM me. You could send me a message on Facebook Messenger, whatever, wherever, or not. You could email me at Dwayne DWAYNECB7@gmail.com. And I'll get you.
Very nice. I'm typing it into the comment section now for the people who might miss it. Yes. So we have a question by Leandre Dyer who says, what inspired your song Homecoming?
That's a good question. So the song Homecoming came from let me back it up a little bit. We have this thing on Wednesday night at our church called Hope Day. We go to church. So Pastor was preaching one night and she was talking about the story about the prodigal son.
Yes.
And him going off, into the world and into the pig, style and all that stuff, and squandering his inheritance. No. Why can't I get this word out? Squandering his inheritance. And she made mention to the whole story not being so much about the son, because we've heard it so many times and talking about the prodigal son coming home and all that. But she really made me and she really made us see that it wasn't so much about the son, but the love of the father. because when he came home, he put a ring on his finger, shoes on his feet, robe on him, all of that stuff, just and hug him. The father left his porch and ran towards his son, and hug him. And that's where we see God with our sons and our brothers that's lost and coming home, and God is just right there on the porch looking out for them, and as they come, he's running towards them. As they come, we're running towards them, hugging them, bringing them back home. And that's the whole inspiration of that homecoming song. And I was in church, I kid you not, I was in church, and while she was preaching, while she was wrapping it up, like that song, the melody just right there dropped in me, and I kid you not, I rushed home. I was doing like 70 just to go home and pen. Just to go home and pen, because I did not want to miss that anointing, that presence, that season. I did not want to let it just go by. And that's where that song came from. And that song has ministered to me in ways, man. That song is good. That song is heaven on, man.
Yeah. That song is so beautiful. So we have another put you on the spot moment. Please sing a line or two from your favorite Sunday school song.
That's easy. My favorite Sunday school song was "I'm in right out, right up, right in right out." Yeah, that was my song. I used to like that.
Speed it up, you try to beat your friends in the.
Love the action.
I know, that is so beautiful.
I'm in right out, I'm happy. Yep.
And then you speed it up. Yep. Yeah. That's a banger indeed.
Yeah. So you don't know that?
I know, right? I know. That's such a good Sunday school song indeed. So I have one last question for you before we wrap up today's interview. And I just want you to leave an encouragement to the people, to up and coming artists, people who are looking up to you. Like, could you just leave a word of encouragement for all of us? Because I'm also a big fan that's looking. So can you just leave a word of encouragement?
So, for those that are up and coming artists and ministers, and those who want to pursue music, first, like for me, you really have to understand that the message that you have inside of you is bigger than the music. Like that's my first thing. Like the message is always going to be above the music, and the message is Jesus Christ. The message is the good news. The message is that God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That's once you understand your message, the methods could change, but the message has to remain the same. Because, and I tell a lot of people, like even in some churches now where they're saying, our youth ministry is dying, or the youths are going out and they're not. Why? Because of the method. I mean, the method that worked for your mama, my mama, her grandmama, it's not work. It's not gonna not for these 2020 youths. No, it's different. This is the t-shirt, knee out type. You know what I'm saying? Because wearing blazers. You know what I mean? So that's. Once the message remains the same, God can help you with the method, and ask him for guidance, ask him for direction, and he is going to lead you. So I would say to that person coming in and that person wanting to be an artist or wanting to sing and have a passion, it must be a passion too, because it's not just a hobby. It's not just something where you want to just pick up and be like, oh, I'm going to sing today. Oh, I think I want to sing. Oh, I think I want to do this. No. It must be something, a desire burning. There must be a message that you want to get out. There must be a fire that's shut up inside of your bones, like Jeremiah. There must be something that has to evolve. That's something you really want to get out. You really want to birth. You really want to see happen. There must be a passion. You know what I mean? So, passion, and your message must be intact. Your message must be intact. So that's my advice.
That is so beautiful, and those are definitely words to live by. I love that you said, the message the method could change, but the message has to be the same. We're spreading the good news of Jesus, so we can't divert from that, because he's a God that does not change. But we can change the method to make it more appeasing or fun to the younger people that we have.
Exactly. Because a lot of I've been to a church one time and I sang a reggae gospel song. These people were mesmerized. They're like, what was that? They're like, it was a whole new world open up. One lady came to me and she's like, there are songs like this out there. I'm like, yes,
Mm,
a whole new world. She's like, I kid you not. If it weren't for you, I would not have known that gospel reggae is a thing. Like, I'm
mm,
so serious. So I'm like, and she's like, I can play this for my son all day. He would listen to this in his car, and that's exactly my avenue. That's exactly where I want
mm-hmm.
to reach those that are not reachable, those that are not accustomed to the hymn and the traditional, which in all of those are good, but
Yeah.
they're a remnant of people, a youth, a whole body of unbelief of believers, of radical Christian that need,
Mm-hmm.
they like the hip hop gospel, they like
Yeah.
the Afro, they like the soul, whatever reggae, and that's where
Yeah.
I'm coming. Yeah,
That's great. We have a comment just to wrap it up
yeah,
from Sandra Hart, who says she likes the fact about how much you are into the word. So that encourages you to stay in the word and to keep
yes,
doing what you're doing. I
thank
can
you.
tell just from having this conversation with you that Hope NYC and the youth department are very, very lucky to have you with
Thank you.
them.
Well, the
Um,
world.
Shout out to all the wild ones and
Yeah,
everybody that's attending Hope NYC. I just want to thank you so much for coming on and doing this interview with me. I had such a great time, and I hope that you
me
had
too.
a great time too. To everybody that is watching, this has been Sip and Gyaff. Please remember to like this video, share this video, because other people definitely need to hear what we were talking about today and to be encouraged. And of course, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you never, ever, ever miss an upload. Thank you very much once again, Dwayne. Thank you to everyone that watched live, that commented. If you're going to watch this after the live has ended, thank you very much as well. Your
Thank
viewership,
you.
your subscription means a lot to me. Dwayne, I wish you all the best.
Yes, I
Until
wish you the best too, and I want to say commend you on such a fabulous job. Continue to do
oh,
what you're
thank
doing.
you.
Continue to push. You have inspired me. You have made me glad. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Until next time, this has been your girl KayKaySlays saying bye, guys.